Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday, September 18th meeting of the Falmouth Conservation Commission. First item on the agenda are minutes of August 28th.
Awesome, I don't have an agenda.
I did not have yours.
And I read them.
Yes, and I had her give them to you, a hard copy as well as email.
I read, I might have read the hard copy. I may not have read the email, but I read the hard copy this afternoon. And I think they're fine as presented to us.
I would move that we accept the minutes as described.
Second.
Any further questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous, so moved. I've also read the minutes of September 11th. And on page 2, this is a major error that has to be corrected. Mr. Corvo, at the request of the applicant's representative, I move to continue the hearing until, and I'll bet he said September 25th,
What did I put, August?
August 25th.
Sorry about that.
So I have that circled. But I also have, on page 4, this is not a huge issue, but remember the project on Gunning Point and Mr. O'Hain?
Michelle, yeah.
Yeah, he asked the square footage of the house, and I think what Mike said was 2,000 square foot footprint, 4,000 square foot, because it would be two,
Yeah.
but I think it's 2,000 square feet. I mean,
He
because
said
I,
4,000, that's what confused me.
well, the total house, but it's footprint.
Okay. I think he asked what was the square footage of the house.
Yeah, that would have been the total of 4,000, not the
He did
foot.
ask the square footage.
But we don't deal with the square footage, we
Right,
just
so-
deal with
We don't,
footprint.
but
I'll fix it, I'll change it.
Yep.
I mean, that's not a critical thing because it's on the record. And the others have to do, are not problems. They're just a project that Mike had, but I don't think we'll hear it today. I think we'll hear it next week. Just to remind me of what was asked, what you were asked, that I'm sure you got. So,
I would like to
Ready.
make a motion to accept the minutes with the revisions as stated.
second.
Second?
I think she got them.
Do you need this?
Susan?
Susan, do you need?
Yeah, if there's
Oh.
something written on it,
Well, the things that are, I need it back when you're done, because I need the things that are circled,
yeah. Okay, I'll just make it.
so I can remember when Mike comes back. Okay, there's a motion on the table to accept the minutes of September 11th. What? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous, so moved.
So you just want me to change to 2,000, is that what you want?
That, Mike, is the one you're waiting for?
That Mike. Hey, Mike,
Yes.
Nice hat.
Chance to take off my hat.
I wasn't going to say that. That's all right, we don't have to ask you. No, that's all right.
It's too late to got my interest.
Request for determination of applicability, Engineered Consultants, 197 Walker Street, Falmouth, for permission to remove the existing roof and construct a second-story addition with a 2,386 square foot footprint with no increase in bedrooms.
Yes, Madam Chairman, the staff is recommending a -2 under the state in the bylaw with the resource area boundaries not confirmed.
So moved.
Second. Any questions? Any questions from the audience? Okay, motion on the table is to accept staff's recommendation of a negative determination, which means these people can go ahead and do what they're requesting to do. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous, so moved. Marshall and Nancy Hughes, 118 Chester Street, North Falmouth, for permission to excavate the perimeter of the crawl space to a maximum depth of 4 feet. To parge, is that the right word?
Yes.
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
The concrete wall, block wall, to construct a drainage collection system And- and displacement of a flow diffuser with a 2 feet of crushed stone and to uplimb several trees.
Yes, Madam Chairman, the staff has reviewed the project. We're recommending a -2 under the bylaw, a -3 under the state for the installation of the house drainage system and for the pruning of the trees, but they are, Jack is going to be submitting a revised plan tomorrow. Only the trees near the house, on the street side of the house, are to be pruned. All the tupelos along the water are to be left alone.
Okay, and
Okay.
resource areas,
Yep.
boundaries not confirmed.
Yep.
So moved.
Second.
Yep. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, motion and a second on the table. Any further questions? Any questions from the audience? Okay, all in favor of the motion on the table, which is to accept staff's recommendation of a negative determination, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous, so moved. Request for hearings under a notice of intent. All hearings of the Falmouth Conservation Commission are heard simultaneously under the authority of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Falmouth Wetlands Bylaw. Although a single decision is issued, it represents a separate decision under each authority. First up, Acapesket Improvement Association, Vineyard Street, map 4508000006E, East Falmouth, for permission to manage and maintain the existing beach to include raking, screening, cleaning, grading, the installation of a temporary snow fence, and associated clearing and landscaping. Jen?
Yes, Madam Chairman, I will hold any of my comments until after Mr. Borselli's presentation.
Good evening, Mike.
Madam Chairman, for the record, Michael Borselli, Falmouth Engineering. I represent the applicant, Acabasket Improvement Association. This is a community association beach just east of Vineyard Sound. It's between, Vineyard Street. It's just adjacent to Vineyard Street. It has frontage on Vineyard Sound. It is between Vineyard Street and the entrance to Green Pond. It's a recreational beach. Much of Acapesket has rights to use this beach, and there's an association that basically manages it. And they approached me because they're, like many of the south-facing beaches, experienced some changes in their beach profiles, which from last year. It's been almost a year since Sandy, and a lot of the sand from various storms has changed the profile of the beach such that sand has been mounded up and piled up at a higher elevation where it used to have a more gentle profile. So they've asked me to come to you for permission to do a beach management plan, much like some of the other ones that I've been before you for in the recent past. And the work would basically involve some minor regrading and reshaping of the beach all above mean high water, placement of snow fencing in the off-season to manage the wind-blown sand, to remove some the seaweed in areas that you would allow and condition as is typical in other beach management plans, which would be above the mean high water line. Access would be over land owned by the association. If you were at the site, there's some bike racks, there's a small timber boardwalk, and the type of equipment that would be used for this beach can make access through there. The work would be limited to mean high water, seawood, and there'd be no work in the dune system, so it'd be along the actual upper beach area. We described in the notice of intent the typical beach management operations, and they were consistent with other projects where you've approved similar activities, such as the Falmouth Heights Beach, Casino Beach, and the New Silver Beach in North Falmouth. So we're here asking for much the same. There's no proposal for beach nourishment on this project, just beach management and minor regrading and reshaping of the beach. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Mike. Jen?
Hey, Mike, you've been out there this summer. Do you know what an as-needed basis, I mean, can't really predict next year's storms, but what would you think?
I think what they're going to do, if they were to get approval, is to go out in the spring, just
Right.
before the season, do it, and they probably may not do it in the next 3 years if,
I will probably ask to approve the contractor. I
Mhm.
think you and I had that discussion, so much like New Silver Beach, we'll ask that we be made aware and have approval of the contractor chosen to do the work,
Mhm.
just so we know that they have some sort of expertise or knowledge of coastal dunes and stay with them. And other than that, 30-day notification, should bump it to 10 days, they can email me.
Okay.
It's a shorter, then we're aware that they're out there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It might make sense when, assuming it gets approved, when it gets closer, that we have like an on-site meeting
Yep.
and
Oh,
the
yeah.
contractor be there.
Yep. I usually do that with the,
Ma'am?
You taking questions?
Not yet. Let me just tell you what the procedure is. We ask questions on the board, and then a motion is put on the table, and then we take questions from the audience. And if we decide, if something that the audience says causes us to change our motion, then we can withdraw a motion and have a new motion. So I haven't forgotten you. But as we get towards that, if you hear a motion on the table, get your hand up again. Tommy, any questions?
I believe in recent beach management, we conditioned the 10% be left above the rack line. Other than that, that's it.
No problems.
Tom?
Yeah, I would say that would be mirroring the most recent, I think that was in New Silver, that we had that 10% of the rack line. Outside of that, I have no questions.
Okay, you know why this is. If people are curious about that, it's to provide food for
Yes.
migrating shorebirds.
The west end of the project, Mike, where is, I assume it's on the end of the beach? We show a whole beach, and
It'd be right at this point, where the snow fencing stops.
okay.
Mario? I just have a comment based on somebody from the association who I happened to meet, who said, "Oh, are you the engineer?" But I didn't claim to be the engineer. I explained why I was there, and her question was, well, why do we need this? She said, those stones that's natural, isn't it? And I said, yes, it is. And what I explained to her, just in case this comes back and somebody asks you, is that for them to do the work requires a permit. We're issuing the permit, but that doesn't necessarily mean work has to be done. Just want you to know in case that comes back around. And the other thing I did want to mention, since you do mention, trying to at least clear some of the rocks, is if you do, and you put them at the base of the dune, that probably will help that dune build up a little better, and then it'll all be part of the dune system there. Right now, it's you can see where the sand's built up.
Right.
But if it's right at the base of the dune, it'll probably keep people from going into that part of the dune as well.
and Mike, remember we talked about possibly moving that fencing a little bit seaward? But we can discuss that on site, about where the best place to put your seasonal snow fencing, which will help naturally build up the beach.
Yeah.
Which I always recommend.
That snow fencing we'd be talking about not this off-season, but the next off-season. There won't be any snow fencing there this year. It'll be the
Okay.
fall.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Motion to close this hearing and take it under advisement.
Second?
any further questions here? Any questions from the audience?
My husband would like to speak first.
So
So the next instruction is, you have to come up and tell us who you are. This is good, though, you can come back again now that you've had practice.
Thank you. My name is Dennis Downey, and my wife is Mary Downey, and we are abutters. We're at 49 Vineyard Street. So when Mike was talking about the beach, he seemed to talk about it as if the whole beach was the Acapesket Association beach. But there's actually two seagroins, and the beach constantly changes. We've lived there year-round for over 20 years, and I can tell you every single spring, it's like a different beach.
Right.
Because it moves down to one end and moves down to the other end. And I haven't seen anything significantly different from Sandy from last year. It's the same thing. It's like sometimes it's here, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's rocky, sometimes it's steeper. Our concern, and that I don't understand from Mike's plan, is when he's talking about regrading, how that might end up affecting our end of the beach also. Because they're gonna, what he's talking about is grading and then putting a snow fence here. But it's all one beach between those seagroins, and the mass of sand and stones moves back and forth depending on the storms. So if they create some kind of a wall, potentially that could deplete our side, and we could, so they would have affected what we have.
Right. Well,
That's our
first of all, they don't have a vertical wall there. What they're doing is putting snow fencing that sort of parallels the dunes.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be blocking it laterally to your part of the beach.
Okay.
That dark line is.
This is the fencing.
That's the
Correct,
fencing.
yes.
Okay.
Right, and
And
that
that's
dark
seasonal.
line is and that's seasonal fencing.
Okay.
The other aspect, and that's why I mentioned about
I heard you.
the stones,
Yeah.
is because there was a time where people would take the stones and get rid of them somewhere.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they're all part of the system.
Right.
And so you want to maintain those stones
Yeah.
in the system.
So I do see, Mike, from your snow fence, though, you're down, are we gonna get a snow fence too? Sam and us?
No, we don't have any, rights or to be on
Right.
either the LaRusso or your property. It's
Right.
all limited, it's all east of the certainly east of your property and east of Sam LaRusso's property.
Right. So I guess that's our basic concern, though, still, is you have one whole beach, and if you're gonna take 3/5 of it and do something major, put up a snow fence, start to move the sand around, change the rocks, that's definitely gonna impact our fence, since we've always shared the sand and the rocks, it goes back and forth, depending on the spot. It's dramatic, too. I mean, some years we have 20 feet of beach, and some years we have 40 feet of beach. Sometimes the sea groin is covered, it's like there's nothing there, and then other times you're walking on rocks. And it's all just back and forth along the beach. So I'm concerned about them, about the Acapesket plan, maybe be like, let's just get us all the sand, and it will take it from the west end of the beach.
Yeah, I can understand your concern, and actually, we don't have a DEP number. So what I would suggest is that you talk with Mike and with the Acapesket Association if you wanted to make this sort of a beach-wide, if you wanted to incorporate into this system.
I guess our concern in coming here
Yeah.
is, I'm not clear, and I wanted to hear more of Mike's plan, what he actually thought he was going to be doing, and what the effects of it were going to be. And then I might get a sense for it possibly taking, yeah.
Madam
Yeah.
Chair, can I just say, what he's doing is a seasonal fence that's going to capture a certain amount of sand. It's not going to stop the seaward side of that snow fence.
Yeah.
The reaction of that area is going to be the same or even more dramatic to your advantage. It has the possibility of working the other way as well, because it is such a dynamic and things are flowing. It's what they're capturing behind it, so that is where they're going to augment, and when they remove this is when they're going to do the grading. And if you look at the profiles, the three graphs
Yeah.
that are on the lower part of that map, right down, yep.
Oh, down here,
Okay, if you
Yeah.
notice where he has the vertical wall, the fence, the beach gradings are not dramatic. It's taking and pushing the profile more seaward. He's not,
Yeah, so basically what's piled up against the dune
Yeah,
to move it to make a flatter beach.
and they may not have to. And if it's a good year and nothing moves, they won't have to do anything. This is kind of like safeguarding what they're able to, and we're only listening to it because this is what was applied for. This notice of intent is this applicant.
Yeah.
And it's not out of the realm of possibility, if that you wanted to help manage your own sites as well, that this is a proactive way to,
Yeah,
with your neighbors. I don't think it's super expensive to do this.
Yeah.
The permitting process is tedious, maybe,
yeah,
but if it's a beach management program, it's a 3-year, possibly a 5-year notice
yeah,
or permit, and it's something that's ongoing.
yeah. Well, is there any way, I know we don't need to get as big with charters, but is there any way that we can get some kind of, something that we could look at? Because again, our concern, the reason that we've come is that it is one whole beach.
It's a one system.
Yeah,
It's one
and
system.
if you're optimizing it for one end, I think you could be to our detriment, and that's our concern.
To answer your question, though, and I've worked on beaches,
Yeah,
and you've observed beaches over 20
Yeah.
years, we can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. Depends on what storms. There might be a big slug of sand
Right.
that might give you a bigger beach
Right.
next year. Or you might get a storm that washes away back to the dunes.
Yeah.
That, we have another project tonight
Yeah.
where you can see it's washed away. So,
I
That's-
can.
You
Yes.
can have that.
Okay, great, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right?
okay?
So it gives us something to look at anyway.
Right.
Is there another meeting where you'll decide? I mean, I don't know, I'm
Well,
not an
here's
expert.
what the process is.
Yeah,
Unfortunately for Mike,
yeah,
we probably would close the hearing if we had the DEP number, which comes from the state,
okay,
but we don't have it.
yeah,
They haven't given it to us, so
Yeah.
there will be a continuance.
okay,
So, and we'll find out right now when the continuance is,
okay.
and then you probably want next week. Can we put it on next week?
There's actually no time, no issue with time,
Oh.
because if you were to approve it, the work's not gonna happen until probably early May. So we don't, you can continue it whenever you like.
If there's a quorum issue, I won't be here next week. I mean, it seems like we should be fine, but
Okay.
I just want to point that out.
And I won't be here the week after.
Okay, so either way. And then I won't be here after that,
Yeah.
so. Next week should be fine.
I think that we had, so I have two other questions though.
Okay.
One is the concern about I'm not sure what the snow fence looks like in terms of, is it something that goes up in the wintertime and we're looking at a fence all winter down, out in front on the beach?
It's,
It
you've
runs
probably
the
seen
length of
it
the
at-
beach along the
You've probably
water?
seen them at Surf Drive. That's the
Yeah.
most obvious place,
Yeah,
I
the
think,
little
of seeing it.
wooden
It's a
slat.
little wooden
Yeah.
slats.
And on Minot Road, they
Yep.
have them now on the.
Oh, yeah, on Minot.
Yeah, and how close to the high tide water mark will that be?
You're gonna be about 20 feet above the hour. They're gonna be about 5 to 7 feet from the base of the dune.
Yeah,
So there'd be one row. In fact, they may, it's a bucket, they may even elect not to do it on certain years. We don't know. We want to reserve the right to have the ability to put it in. We're not saying that we necessarily install it every year. What's most important is they want to simply try to change that beach profile back to the way it used to be, which is like lowering it about 12 to 18 inches and then just making it a leveler beach. We're not taking sand away, we're not importing sand, we're not barricading off areas, we're not blocking with fencing, we're just kind of regrading and smoothing out to make the profile of the beach more gradual. That's basically what the project is.
and then, do you want to say something? It's too team.
There you go.
That's fine.
That's fine.
We like to see,
Okay,
That.
I'm Mary Downey.
We'll decide later.
49 Vineyard
Who
Street
wins?
Yes.
also. And I've been there for over 50 years. So I have seen it come and go, and Mike McGrath is very familiar with this beach as well and all that's gone on there. My concern is, now we have dredging every few years. So the dredging comes up, and that has significantly changed the beach in the last 20 years since they started doing the dredging from Green Pond. You just have to be aware of that. I don't know how, whether it's big equipment. It doesn't sound like you have heavy equipment coming in. Do you have 40-ton trucks coming in? Or is it just putting up a fence, snow fence?
We will have a small track-mounted machine. It's the same type of equipment that is used every year at Falmouth Heights Beach. It's the same activity if you ever drive by Falmouth Heights Beach at the end of the season. They respread the sand, level it, make it more suitable for recreational purposes. That's simply what it is.
So it's not a 40-ton truck. I was talking to Sam Russo, he's having knee surgery tonight, so he couldn't go. But we have concerns, that's all, just that the dunes were once knocked down on that beach, and we don't want the dunes to be knocked down, and I think that that's
To be
our
knocked down by
concern.
people.
They were knocked down by bulldozers. There was a fellow in the
Oh,
neighborhood.
well, if you see bulldozers on the beach, we would be very interested to have a call.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
happened to us in the past.
Yes, well, that happened to us. Those dunes have taken 50 years to grow to the point where they are right now. And we had deer on the beach. It took forever to get this back. So I like seeing a snow fence, if it does what is natural from a snow fence. And I think as needed basis, would they have to check in with you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they have to give,
Each as needed, okay, and we would have notice.
No, no, you would not have noticed. The abutter notification is at the original part of this. Even on a continuance, you will not be re-notified.
Oh, okay, so how do we find out?
we're going to tell you. It's going to be next week. We're going to take a vote.
All right,
Okay.
off-season,
Thanks.
oh, piping plovers, gotta watch out for.
Well, that's,
It's not mapped in by Natural Heritage.
they
I
were-
checked today.
Right, they were there this summer trying to do it, but just so you know. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So I have to withdraw my motion.
Yes.
I
To
move
close
to
it.
close.
oh,
So that's-
see? We're withdrawing the motion, and we're withdrawing your second? Who seconded? Whoever seconded, we're,
Mike, I thought it was Mike.
Yep.
okay, must have been Mike.
I did.
And we're going to have a new motion on the table for a continuance.
For 1 week. That is my motion.
Second.
Okay, Mike seconded again. So motion on the table to continue for a week. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous, so moved. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Very much.
Thank you.
You want the other half of that?
Sure, thanks very much.
Mike, call Christine.
Thanks, Mike.
Other night.
Now we're going to move to the other coast. Wigwam Sipawicet Trust, care of Silvestro Calabrese, trustee, 8 Wigwam Road, West Falmouth, for permission to install an elevated generator, repair and reconstruct an existing licensed stone riprap, approximately 250 linear feet in length, construct access over a coastal dune and beach, restore the construction access route, and the associated clearing, excavating, grading, and landscaping.
I'm going to recuse myself.
Okay. Jen?
Yes, Madam Chairman, I'll save any of my questions till after Mr. McGrath's presentation.
I'm passing out.
Reduced and colored copies. Oh, nice.
Once in a while. You get a blind squirrel thing in there. That thing is like too thick.
My name is Michael McGrath. I'm a registered engineer and a registered professional land surveyor, and my firm prepared the notice of intent and the plans. This is number 8 Wigwam. There's an existing house. The wetland resources are, well, first Buzzards Bay, land under the ocean. There's coastal, well, these are dunes. There's a beach. There's coastal banks. Land subject to coastal storm flowage. This is also on a barrier beach. We also have land subject, we're near or adjacent to land that's been mapped as habitat for piping plover. So the first thing is we don't have a MESA finding, even though they've issued one a couple months ago on a similar filing. So we're going to have to continue this. But I wanted to go forward with the meeting, with the hearing. The proposal was that there's existing riprap that's been existing for a long time, and it is basically unraveling. There's a set of stones. There's a set of stones that are at a base for a set of wooden stairs, and if you've been out to the site, they've shifted. You can actually look on. There's photographs inside the notice that describe or that show how you can look in between the toe stones. So the proposal is to first construct an access using mats over the existing dune in this location, build a ramp, and then come down and do the work from the bottom of the riprap on the existing surface of the beach. The last time I was there, it was stony. It's been stony most of the time, meaning small stones. The proposal is to reinstall the toe stones so they're buried, build 3 layers, basically a filter cloth and a bedding stone, and then new armor stones with chink stones. I handed you a reduced copy of the typical cross-section. We're showing 2 layers of armor stones. Previously, you had approved building a proposed dune between the 2 ripraps, and we've referenced the file number on it. So this is work to maintain an existing structure that's been there for a long time. There is a license. Jennifer asked me today where the signs were. I called the owner. The signs will be reinstalled before the next hearing. There's supposed to be public access signs that are supposed to be out there. In any case, they will be reinstalled before the next continued hearing. I've also wanted to point out that I have revised the plan to show that these stairs will be cast in place or built into the riprap with mortar. And the owner would also like a set here with a path through the proposed dune. So I'll bring in the required number of revised plans before the hearing, the continued hearing. The notice describes also that there's a complete description of the construction access plus a complete description of the dune restoration. We also describe how we meet the performance standards of the Black Beach Great Sippawasset Marsh DCPC, which this is in the DCPC. And I believe that the bottom line is that this is an appropriately constructed, proposed activity. The owner said that he would take these stones and incorporate from these 2 small little groins and incorporate them into the riprap. So that's also going to be shown
So
on the
they're not going
revised
to
plan.
remain anymore.
But
No, they're going
he
away.
is retaining that one. He's given up these 2
Okay, and that you'll reflect that in the
in the
next-
revised plan.
Okay.
Are there any questions that I can answer?
Jen?
Mike, as I said, tell your client to order extra signs, so when the storms take the signs out, he can put them right back up. It's a condition, I just actually highlighted it in your license that you were issued in 2006.
No.
We need natural heritage, Mike, we're gonna do an on-site prior to work, try to narrow that construction access down. Okay? Can you do that, or? When we speak
Yes,
this
yeah,
afternoon,
it's
narrow
labeled
as possible.
15 foot
Label
wide.
15 feet.
Yeah,
And, all right, we don't need 15 feet. We'll make it narrower.
or as narrow as possible, like, we'll have an on-site, I'll meet with the contractor,
Yeah.
and it can't be 15 feet. Blasting right through
The
that. dune.
vegetation there is really healthy. I
Oh,
will
yeah.
say, this is a site which we visited.
Mike,
on
can't they go
many-
up around the
On many
house?
occasions, and the vegetation has grown up really nicely, and the top of that dune looks great.
Like, can't they go up and around, like, the left side, the right side of the house?
No.
Why?
I looked at it, I actually brought the marine contractor, or a marine contractor out there. We tried to see if we could, for instance, come in by barge, but it's
No, yeah,
too shallow.
it's too shallow.
For way out, there's stones in the way. So I actually looked at trying to come through
You can't,
on
I
the
thought
north
that when I
side.
was there.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
not
they got
as
all
full.
that bayberry right on
Yeah.
on the
And
right
there's-
side as you're pulling into the driveway.
And there's too many little trees,
And there's
Yeah.
a lot of vegetation
the little cedars.
between the house and the left side of the,
So
And
that.
yeah, and we can't go the other way.
yeah.
So
Because
that,
then we have to go
I
up.
think that's the only practical way.
You
and-
might be
and
right.
it's-
But I'm glad you
Write
at
the
least
date
looked
down,
at it.
someone. I was described as being right.
Mike, there's a Mike in there.
Oh,
Not Mike, Mike.
all right. So in any case,
Narrow as possible, natural heritage, get rid of those two groins. That's it.
Tommy,
I forgot that we're going to put a generator in.
No, you said
oh,
that.
you said that. I mean, I
did.
read it.
All right, but I wanted to show that it's right next to the
Yeah.
existing electric handhole. It has to be elevated, so it's going to be up on full posts.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right,
right in that little cleared area over there.
that's right.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a little accident I had when I was there at one point.
Did you drive into the transformer thing?
No, but I drove into one of your steaks.
That's,
That reminds me, I drove into one of your steaks today.
But I've never drifted off West Falmouth Harbor with a motor that didn't work. Your turn.
You may have mentioned it, but, I mean, the plan is different than what you handed out tonight? You're gonna update?
this is the revised plan.
So we're gonna
No,
get
you're gonna have to
that?
revise it again because you still have the little jetties to remain.
All right.
Yeah, we'll get a new plan.
Okay, no questions.
I will submit revised plan.
Oh, I do have a question though, that the new stairs that are on this revised plan and not on the original, it looks like you have to access it through the proposed dune? Is that,
Oh, it's beach.
no, yeah, beach on one end, I mean on the upper end. How do people walk down those steps? It looks like
Oh, I see what
it
you're
comes right
saying.
up.
Well, that's what I want to know. You go up those steps, because I went up those steps today. I mean, they're just loose rock steps now.
Yeah,
So the access is you go up those loose rock steps from north to south, you walk along, and then you go down the regular steps?
What?
oh, so you're
Yeah,
not.
they're going to come down these
No,
wooden
I'm
steps.
walking along the beach. I'm the public.
Oh,
And
you're
I'm
the public?
Fishing, fouling, and
Navigating.
navigating. And I'm coming from the north, heading south. How do I go?
Following the signs.
No. I thought- You want me to go all the way in front?
Regardless of that, the question is, if you're coming up those steps, where are you going? Because it
You're
ends
just
on
going
a
into here.
dune.
Yes, we show a path along the base of the top of the
No, you don't.
capstone. And well,
maybe
On
the,
the revised plan.
On the big plan.
Oh, the plan that I
Where's
stamped
the-
today shows that it's right on top of the capstones.
I'm asking
Oh,
the
those
stairs that you
stairs.
can't see that are
No,
not there.
she's saying these stairs over here, like when you come up them all the way up to the top, you're just
It's the
in that
dune.
natural dune, not the dune that you're creating, the natural dune.
No, there's no
Look.
dune over here.
Says-
No, okay, now move your finger and go like up. No, not that way. No, put your finger back where it was.
Come back down to the
Now go,
stairs.
just go,
Now how do you
like,
get
go
from
at
there
like
to the
1
house?
o'clock.
What I'm trying to describe is that we're going to show a path along the top of the capstones.
She's saying you're going
The
along the
riprap and-
capstones, not onto the
Okay.
dune.
Okay,
Fine.
I think it's just probably not clear on this plan.
Yeah, that's, I
Yeah,
just couldn't.
it's
I'll
just not-
try.
I know what Michelle's saying.
Oh, I understand too.
Okay, thank you.
We will make it clearer on the revised plan.
But the
Yeah,
public
I-
access is
I know.
around
I was like,
the,
where do we
around the
go
groins.
here?
Yeah.
He
I've
makes
always
it-
interpreted the license to say that. It doesn't really say.
Oh, I always interpreted you went up, you walked across those capstones and down.
Actually, I have it highlighted.
Does it
It
say?
said, impartial compensation,
No, go down to the special waterways conditions,
that's what I'm
Mike.
reading. Impartial compensation for private use of structures on tidelands which interferes with the rights of the public to use such land. The licensee shall allow the public to pass on foot for any purpose from dawn to dusk within the area of the subject property lying seaward of the high water mark. This condition, I'm sorry, I lost my place, shall not be construed to prevent the licensee from taking reasonable measures to discourage unlawful activities by users of the area intended for public passage, including but not limited to trespassing on the adjacent private areas or deposit of refuse of any kind or nature in the water or on the shore. Do you want me to keep reading?
No, but which high water mark do you use?
They always go by mean high water.
Yeah, well, your mean high water,
It's colored in blue.
that says mean high water as of May 2008. It doesn't say mean high water.
But I'm talking about
Elevation
in front of the
4.0.
structures. Mean high water is in front of the structures, that colored blue. It's on the structure, so they have to walk around the structure.
You have a second mean high water, that's he's
You
referring
have
to.
two mean high waters on your plan.
One's
Oh,
more
that's right,
recent.
I was just trying to show the erosion. That's right, I do. I didn't color it.
That was just for erosion, but not what you're,
You're right, I should have colored both of them.
Mike? I have some more questions.
Sure.
The,
Just been commenting on the other questions that people ask.
Mike,
No, no,
Oh,
no,
I'm sorry.
not your turn yet.
I'm sorry.
it's okay. The proposed dune, is that going to be made out of the same kind of stone or cobbles that are there, or are you going to,
No.
that's going to be
No,
a...
that's sand.
Now, remember,
gonna be
Mike,
sand.
they were doing the dredging project in Falmouth Inner Harbor, and they wanted to take that material and bring it over to their,
But that was north.
No, no,
it
no.
was
No,
it's
that
here.
was on
It was
top of
along
here.
here and north.
and north.
Okay.
You're
I
right.
brought the colored plan.
Because Ed was concerned about putting the dredged spoiled material onto the natural system, but we didn't have a problem with using it right on, in between those ripraps.
Okay.
It's going to be sand.
Is it going to be planted? Do we think it'll stay there?
Yes, for sure. Proposed to be planted with, this is the approved plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be planted with,
Dune grass.
Proposed dune planted
Okay.
with cones
All
or
right.
beach grass, 12 inches on the center of the stake.
There you go. So you can show that on this cross-section?
the grass
The grass,
on the cross-section.
on the cross,
For the
just so there's no confusion.
Oh, all right, you want me to copy this note right on?
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right.
And to
I got a
an-
short memory, Mike. You need to,
And to answer your question, do we think it's going to stay there? It'll stay there until
the next
the
one.
next big storm.
Yeah, okay.
And then we'll just put it back with more beach grass.
Anything else?
And the
No,
signs.
that's it, Mike. Thank you very much.
Mario?
Nothing really. You have applied under MESA?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We just haven't got a reply.
Just haven't got a,
Right.
How about DMF?
I didn't ask for anything from you.
I'm sorry?
I didn't, there's no requirement for me to apply for anything with DMS.
They're not gonna do a barge.
I was just wondering, because the notice of intent indicated that DMF does have jurisdiction over this.
Oh, do we have our DMF letter in there? I thought. I can look for the DMF letter, Mara.
I don't know, let me see, where does it say that? Oh, DMF. I thought you had indicated that it was under,
I can't
DMF's,
see, where is it?
well, you've got it checked off yes. It says if yes, include proof of mailing to Division of Fisheries. That's on
I'll look
page
for that.
6 of 9.
Yeah, I'll look for that letter, Mara.
No further questions?
Anything else? Mike? Mike? I have some questions. Or just some comments, actually. One is, the usual conditions here would be to have biodegradable oils for any machines that are used. And this seems like, I'm always embarrassed saying this, but it seems so obvious, but no machines in water. It all has to be done at low tide.
Well, that's because that picture will forever stay in your mind.
Yeah. You know, we have had projects where people have machines in the water.
Oh, I've seen machines in the water.
Yeah.
We've seen little bobcats coming down the beach in the water.
Oh, there was a project a while ago where they were building riprap, and a storm came up, and they had left the crane down there, and the waves were breaking against the crane.
Oh, I wish you had a picture of that. That would stay in my mind also.
Well, it should be in there now.
It is in there now. In addition to the picture of the bobcat, where I actually saw the visual picture, now I have a mental picture of a crane having waves breaking.
Okay,
up.
Mike, are you done, Betsy?
Yeah, Mike needs a,
How long do you want, Mike? You submitted your thing to Natural Heritage on the 28th, which means they probably got it a week later, so.
well, it can't be
You
next
want the
week.
16th? You want the 2nd, the 9th? Oh,
It can't be the second.
Can't be the 2nd, it can't be the 9th.
Can't be the 9th? I'm here the 9th.
Oh, I thought you weren't here the 9th.
I won't be.
You won't be. You'll be here.
But
No.
Will you be here?
I'll be here,
Will you be here?
God
there
willing.
you go.
Michelle, you said the 2nd was your last.
Yeah, I won't be, but you have 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
The 9th?
Yes.
Do we
No.
need to pull in the other projects into this one, filings for that Dune?
Yeah, we can incorporate the
Yeah, we'll
Dune filing
incorporate the
into
other
it.
filing. I mean, he references them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we can incorporate the Dune, the proposed Dune filing into this one. I don't think it's necessary to do the others.
Okay, could we have a
Yeah.
motion?
To make a motion to continue it to October 9th.
And a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the table to continue to October 9th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous, so moved. I'm sorry, Jeff, I didn't give you the opportunity to comment. Oh, well. Thanks, Mike.
Mike's grateful.
Continued request for hearings under a notice of intent. Michael and Cynthia Serrard, 59 Old Minot Road, East Falmouth, for permission to construct a timber dock consisting of
Yes.
6-foot by 16.5-foot float, 3-foot by 12-foot ramp, 4-foot by 34-foot fixed timber pier from mean low water seaward with a 4-foot by 20-foot section of dock grading, a timber walkway from mean low water landward approximately 4 feet by 138 feet long, 8 6-inch by 6-inch timber piles, 2 4-inch diameter float pipes, yokes, stringers, decking, timber railing, lateral stairs for public access, and the associated clearing and landscaping. Jen?
Yes, the quorum is Mario, Mike, Betsy, Tom, and Michelle.
Sue?
Bless you.
Thank you.
Came in.
later.
Yeah, right after the... Good evening, I'm Jeff Ryther with BSS Design, representing the Serrards tonight. We saw this about a month ago,
My project.
and we had a few issues. I can go over those with you. I just want to go back over that we have land under the ocean, salt marsh, BBW, a little bit of coastal bank, and then the flood zone is up into the backyard. So this is a small gauge timber pier with a walkway through a BBW. And I'm just going to go through the comments and just tell you what I did. One of the first ones was we got a comment from the harbor master that said, your dock's 50 feet long, could it be shorter? I did give you a regulation from the Army Corps on navigation that says no further than 1/4 of the distance at mean low water across the waterway. So this is, that would be 25%. This is 22% across at 50 feet, which gives us, we have 3.82 feet of water on the inside of the float. So by making it any shorter, really, we're starting to get, under the 3 foot, when you consider the flotation under the float, because that's going to stick down in the water. So, 50 feet, you've seen docks, pretty long, and 50 foot isn't really that long for a dock. So.
Yeah, we appreciate Greg, we always look seriously at Greg's interpretation, but I saw him recently at a meeting, and I told him that if we don't always take his advice, it's not that we don't appreciate his advice, but we have different, sometimes we're looking at different.
Well, I did send him an email, and I did include that on the...
Right, I had seen that.
And his response is, as you know, my comments were only an opinion. I do not approve docks, and therefore the commission can approve the dock without a revised opinion on my part. Says, I'm aware of the information you attached, which was the Army Corps regulation, explained about the water depth and so forth. And said the 3 foot requirement as a result of the dock in town being way too long, in my opinion, meaning, sometimes you take 100 feet to get to 3 feet of water, but not in this case. Given the depth of the water at BB, I think he means BP, Florence Pond, in the low bridge, a deeper draft dock isn't necessarily for navigational purposes.
Right. Well, his issue is navigation, which we're concerned about, but we have other issues that are environmental issues.
And then you have the depth, and so we're trying to fit this all in. I think, we meet all the regulations here, but he thinks that you're so far up Florence Pond, why do we need 3 feet of water? Well, I don't want to file for a variance, because that won't work well.
And we don't want to see blowouts.
And if you look at, this, I didn't, didn't really want to trespass into this yard, but we spill over the lot line when we survey. But if you look at the length of this dock, you kind of bring it down, it's really the same length as this dock, And, well, this one is, again, about the same length as this one, but it's way in on this little indentation with only 1.2 foot of water. So,
Jeff, you're meeting our regulations, which
I'm meeting
is what you're
regulations.
required to do.
So let's get by the harbor master thing. The next one was grading over the bordering vegetated wetland. And that is through here.
Yep.
And that's now shown here. It says provide dock grading
Thank you.
on entire walkway. And so we have walkway going that way, and then dock. It's a little bit heavier timbers, 4x4 is here, 6x6 is here. No tree removal in the BBW. So we did have one tree we thought was going to be a problem, but we just took it off the plan. Didn't take it off the plan, but the note to have it removed. So there's a 2-inch cedar next to the walkway we're going to leave alone. The next one is delineation of the salt marsh
Been revised.
in the BVW. I did send in new data sheets, and Jack was going to be here tonight, but he has a conflict in Sandwich, so he called me and said I can't be there tonight. Anyway, I hope that'll
And you looked at both
do it.
vegetation and your spring high tide line?
Yeah,
Remember
we
we
sure
called
did.
and talked
And,
about that?
Let me explain right here. You'll see down here in the lower part, you'll see that there's a 8-inch cedar tipped. And what happened was during some storm, the cedar sort of pulled apart the berm that wrapped around here and has let in this salt water into this area. So Jack has delineated, when he deviates off my numbering system, he goes back in here, meaning VSM, that's Vaquero Salt Marsh. So he's added those flags in there. And again, on this end, this ditch has got the salt marsh species in it up to about here and then back. So the difference is I didn't have these 2 fingers on the last plan.
Yep.
But we see that it's, you know, we got a lot of big pines and cedars throughout here. So this isn't marsh here. And you'll see the note, it was formerly a cranberry bog. Somebody's attempt to that. I think the water rise has kind of ruined that situation, but
A little too close.
a little too close is right. New data sheets, those are included with Jack's edit. I don't know if you saw those, but it shows what he did. Stake the center line of the boardwalk, we did that. We've got 3 stakes on it now. I don't know if anybody went back out. 2 more items, the power and the water to be trenched from here up to this end of the house, the utility end of the house. And lastly, the mooring field, meaning the boat berth area, has been added to the float, pointing sort of that direction. And those are, we did have some other comments by the butter, but he just wanted to move the dock north. It gets shallower as you go north, and there's a rock here, so we just left it where we designed it initially. So
Okay,
that's about it.
thanks. Jen, any questions? Any
Covered everything that staff had concerns with.
Any questions?
Motion to close and take on the advisement.
Second?
Who's on, you're on this one? You're not on it? Who's on this?
I think you're on it.
Yeah, he's on it.
Tommy is not on it.
No?
Tom,
Are you here
Michelle,
next week?
Betsy, Mike, Mario.
I'm not here next week, but I'm here the following week, so,
What, I'm not here the following
I
week.
know, but
So, okay,
You'll have 4. I'll have Mario, Mike, Tom, and Michelle.
okay, or you'll have it ready for next week.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, it's kind of a scant group, right? Last time there was 4 of you.
5.
No, there are 5 of us,
There's 5
but
of us.
one is not going to be here next week, one's
Right.
not going to be here the week after, so I just want to make sure that we have a quorum for you, and which we do.
Right, good.
So we have a motion and a second on the table, right, Susan? To close this hearing and take it under advisement? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous, so moved.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks,
Thank
Jeff.
you very much.
And Jeff, I want to know whether you and Mike got together to all have colored plans tonight. They're very helpful.
You are nice. You do help.
They are nice. So I'm saying this to encourage among your engineer
Yeah.
colleagues.
Well, I think Mike gave you colored copies here.
He did.
Well, he did, but,
That was pretty smart.
yeah, well, but this is
We
good.
don't have one that covers the big one in color.
Yeah, this is very good. We appreciate that. Thanks. Okay. McDougal's Cape Cod Marine Service
let me
Inc.
check,
is
yeah.
only for,
Yeah, that was
DP
the,
number?
that was Tommy, Mario, Mike, Betsy,
recused.
Tom,
yeah, and you're
And-
recused.
Court, and that was for DP number only, which we have received.
Make a motion to close and take it under advisement.
Second.
Second.
All in, got it?
I do.
You got a first and 2 seconds.
Tom made it, who seconded?
You can take Mike or Mario.
Okay,
You can choose.
okay.
Okay, all in favor of the motion on the table, which is to close this hearing and take it under advisement, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous, so moved. Vote orders of conditions.
Yes.
We have them.
Well, we can discuss them. I'd like to discuss Park. I'd like you to vote Park tonight, and I know that Barbara was looking for Drift Road as well, so.
Okay,
Park Street's the little restoration plan. They did submit a revised plan showing the, Tommy, Mario, Mike, Betsy, Tom, Michelle. Revised plan showing the BVW line shifted to the hydric soil mark that Mario wanted to see.
Did they do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
see it here.
Oh, yeah.
Is this,
What's the revision?
This was that.
Revised
Mosquito
edge of
thing.
wetland.
oh, no. And does he have a
Yes.
path?
Oh, wait, edge of wetland,
Let's keep
limit of hydric soil. No, he doesn't have a path.
This, I must have the old one. Or you have the old one too.
I do.
The old plan doesn't have the new items on it. I'm
No.
surprised.
They know they're moving it, so no, it doesn't say on there, so they can have wetland soil, the edge of wetland, hydric soil limit. No, we're gonna, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, well, just make them submit a new plan that says BBW.
And a pathway,
Why are we putting the path, Madam Chairman?
because it's a public right of way. And there used
Yeah,
to
but
be,
there used to not be a path there.
there used to be a path to the water.
That was the testimony of the woman that lived down there, and that was, I thought my recollection is
Okay,
that-
if the board wants a path, we can discuss it. I'll
Mike
put that
said
in.
he would put a path.
Okay.
That's all.
This is all vegetation. And they
They have to
They
redo,
clear cut this.
So they have to restore.
they gotta do,
But it was as if this was their land, and then there was no right of way.
so what she was asking was just a 4-foot path here. And if they're gonna do all that work in there anyways.
I've had other people ask that.
Okay. I mean, if the board wants to put the path in there, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
I know the client I know that client does, Mike's client.
Would prefer not to have a path.
Yes.
Well, of course, but it's not his property.
Mike's, it's not his choice.
Okay.
It's a public right of way, and Mike said he would give
4-foot
us a
path, got
plan
it. Yep, I got it.
with a 4-foot path.
Right there, 4-foot path. BVW for Mario, since we're gonna get another plan, because they didn't get it right the second time. And we are also gonna have them write a letter to the
I thought
town
we made both
engineer.
clear.
I thought that
It's
was
in
clear,
the,
Tim.
this thing I gave to Susan, that's why I circled it. It was clear that you asked for that, and.
Oh, I know. Yep, so I know that. And then I'm also gonna have them write a letter to Peter, letting them know they're planting in the road layout. 'Cause
Yeah.
they removed it, and Mike's testimony was they removed it, they are required, they're responsible for replacing it.
Correct.
Right,
Yep.
but absolutely, Peter has to,
Yep.
Okay it.
Nope, I know. Okay,
I don't think you should have to call Peter.
I'm not, it's gonna be a condition.
All right,
Motion to accept
I'm not calling you.
order conditions as discussed.
about that.
Second.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor of the motion on the table, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous, so moved. What's the other one? I've lost.
40 Drift Road,
That's the one with the tight tank and
Tight,
the
yeah.
little,
Oh, yeah.
the
I don't
little,
think.
Tommy, Mike, Betsy, Tom. Tight tank, we'll do a pre-construction meeting because it is kind of dense in there and it's just an absolutely beautiful site.
Yeah, it'd be great, though, to have that.
And other than that, their plan was to pop the boardwalk off,
yep,
pop the tight tank in,
Put the boardwalk back on
put
top.
the boardwalk back on.
Okay, motion?
motion to accept the order as discussed.
Second.
There'll be a restoration for anything they disturb,
Yeah.
that's part of it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous, so moved.
Okay.
Any other business? Motion to
Nope.
adjourn.
Second.
Okay, Motion is second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous, so moved.
Lose
Wow.
my thing.